Hey folks, Ron Ray here. I went to Medicare Con last week and I got inspired and I wanted to come back and do something special with all the information and inspiration that I got out of that conference. Really great conference. The best insurance conference I've been to so far. And that's saying a lot because I go to a lot of good conferences, but that was the best. Kudos to Justin Brock and his team. Put together a great show and a great experience and brought together some really, really fantastic trainers in the insurance world. And I know that everybody that I talked to had a great time. One little tidbit that I picked up, as always, my good friend Pete Fournier, everything that comes out of his mouth that's talking about insurance is solid gold. And so he inspired me to do kind of challenge myself and get out there and sell a little bit more life insurance. I'm not a big life insurance guy. Anytime I sell life insurance, it's just by accident. I don't try to do it, and I don't do it very often because of that. Well, I need to get better at that. That's something that I'm working on. And in fact, I've got agents that work with me that are trying to sell life insurance and trying to learn that business. And sometimes, life insurance, it can be tough. So what I am big on is leadership and leading by example and not asking my agents to do something that I haven't done or can't do myself. So what I'm going to do is a final expense big month. So the month of May, that is starting this Monday. Today's Friday, April the 29th. Monday's May the 2nd. We're going to hit the ground running. And I am going to write $30,000 in life insurance premium in the month of May. And again, this is going to be a real challenge for me. And I'm going to do it from a very, very realistic perspective. And I'm going to kind of put myself in the place of a new agent that doesn't have a lot of time or money or experience, because that's kind of what I am. I'm not a new agent, but I don't have a lot of experience selling final expense life insurance. I've done it, but not a lot. I don't concentrate on it. It's not something that I know well. And I certainly do not have a lot of time. I'm not a 16-hour a day, 6 or 7 day a week kind of agent. I'm pretty much 8 to 5 and go home to my family and don't work on weekends. And I've got 3 businesses that I run here. I've got my insurance agency, my wealth management firm, and my home health care company. I've got a lot going on. So I am going to approach this just very realistically as a new agent. I'm also not starting out with a big budget. I decided I'm going to make this kind of relatable to somebody new coming into the business. And one thing that somebody new coming into this business doesn't have is a big budget. You might have more time than me, but you're likely not going to have the budget that I have or other agents have that might put on a show like this. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to kind of start slow and build a little bit more as we go. So here's my goals. Here's my numbers. $30,000 in life premium. Now, what do I have to do to get there? So if we kind of work these numbers backwards, we do a lot of backwards planning. So if my career in law enforcement, we would do backwards planning. We would have a date and a time where we needed to accomplish a mission, whether that's a raid or something going on, search warrant. We'd backwards plan that whole thing from 0 hour. Well, we do the same thing in insurance with our goals. And so if I want to hit $30,000 in final expense premium, I'm going to use about $720 as my average case size, about $60 a month. That's kind of low, but again, I'm not real good at it. I think I'll get better as I go along, but I'm going to start out with a realistic number. Now, in order to hit $30,000 at $720 average, that's about 41 cases, and there's about 4.5 weeks in the month of May. Okay, it starts pretty close to the 1st on a Monday. Monday is the 2nd, and then the 30th or 31st ends up on a Tuesday or Wednesday, I think. So about 4.5 weeks. That means I need to hit a little bit more than 9 cases a week. Okay, 9 cases a week at that 720 average. Now, if my closing ratio is 20%, I think that's really bad. If I was really, 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 really bad, I think I could close 20% of the sits that I go on. And so that means I would need 46 sits a week in order to hit 9. Okay. And if I got a little bit better, then I could get away with 30 appointments. And if I got pretty good, okay, I think I could probably do better than 50%. If with practice, certainly could increase my case size. But if we kept that 720 average and I started closing at 50%, then I would only need 18 appointments a week. And so how many appointments do I need to set to get there? Well, a 20% closing ratio, if I kept 80% of my appointments, which I think I can do, I think that I've got some pretty solid appointment solidification process. I think I can actually meet with 80% of the people that set an appointment with me. I would need 58 appointments a week to do that. That's too much. I don't have time for that. So I'm going to have to do better than 20%. Even at a 30% closing ratio, I'm going to have 38 appointments. So if I'm dialing on Mondays for appointments on Tuesday and Wednesday, and then dialing again on Thursdays for appointments on Friday, maybe Saturday, but I'm not going to do every Saturday. I'm certainly not going to do all day on Saturday. Then I would need about 10 a day. So about 10 a day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, half a Saturday, 1 or 2 Saturdays out of the month. I'm not going to do a lot of Saturdays. That's still a lot. That is running and gunning. Now, I know you final expense road warriors out there. That's nothing to you. You do that every day. Kudos to you. I think that's going to be tough on me. So bottom line is I got to do better than 30%. 50% is 23 appointments set per week. That's very doable. So somewhere in between 30 and 50% closing is where I need to be. Here's the big question, leads. This is the question on everybody's mind. Everybody's got this. Where are your leads coming from? It doesn't matter what the process is. I can give you a great sales process, and we do all these numbers. And what everybody always asks is, where are you getting your leads? Because that's the big problem, isn't it? The marketing part, the prospecting part. So using direct mail, just business reply cards. Now I'm going to give you some of these numbers. I'm going to give you the vendors later, and I'm going to adjust these numbers as we go along. I placed an initial order for a 2,000 piece mailer in my county where I live, just outside of San Antonio, Texas. That's not enough. Now, I think that this vendor is going to do a really good job, and I think they're going to get me probably 30 to 40 leads out of that batch. Maybe not that much. I would say maybe 25 to 30, just to be conservative, out of that batch. So our leads are a little bit slower to respond here, usually about 3 weeks from the time you order them when you start getting them back. So I might jump ahead on my plan and go ahead and place another order on Monday. What I really had planned to do to make it very realistic was place an order and then not make another order until I made my first sale and got paid on my first sale. So immediately reinvest that commission back into leads. I think if I do that, there's going to be too much of a gap between that when that second batch of leads starts coming in, and it's going to really kind of slow me down. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of jump ahead on my plan a little bit. I'm going to place another order for another 2,000 on Monday and just kind of get that rolling. Now, I also am going to work a bunch of aged mortgage protection leads. These are people aged 50 and up. They're mortgage protection, whatever the mortgage protection, final expense, Social Security income protection. It's all final expense. It's all whole life. May get some bigger fully underwritten or policies out of it, some IULs, some fully underwritten whole life, maybe even some return of premium term is kind of my goal, but really concentrating on final expense whole life. Well, got 300 of those initially. I got those really cheap, so we'll see how they work. If they work well, then I can just order more of those anytime I want to. They're fairly cheap. I got those at an average of about $1 a piece. So some of them I paid about $4 for. Some of them I paid 50 cents for. So average from the different places that I got them was probably about $1 a piece. And referrals, I'm going to rely heavily on referrals. And I've got a goal of getting 2 to 5 referrals on every sit. Whether I sell a policy or not, I am not walking out of that house without at least 2 referrals, really with a goal of 5. So if I sell a policy, I'm going to get 5 referrals. If I don't sell a policy, I'm going to get at least 2. And I've got my current database. I'm going to cheat just a little bit. I've been in this business a long time. I've talked to a lot of people about insurance. They're all over 65, and a lot of them could use final expense insurance. So I've not sold it to maybe 4 people out of that 4,500. I've got 4,500 people in my database that I can call on at any time. So I'm going to lean heavily on those leads, my current database, and the aged leads. And then I'm going to take the direct mail leads, the fresh leads as they come in. I'm going to try real hard to avoid using any kind of digital leads, Facebook or internet leads, live transfers, telemarketed leads. I'm not going to use any of that stuff. I'm going to use what agents start out using, which is direct mail and aged leads and warm market referrals. So that's what I'm going to do in May. I'd love to hear what you're going to do. And please, I'm going to give you updates. I don't know how often it'll be, at least once a week. Hopefully I'll give you something once a day, but I'm not going to make any promises there. But hold me accountable. I'm going to give you my numbers as we go along and give you updates. And if you've got any ideas that you think could help me, or if you think I'm doing something wrong and you think I could do better, let me know. I want to hear that too. Hope you have a great weekend. It's Friday. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.